Okay, now we're starting the recorder.
No,
Now that we got that out of the way.
yeah.
Well, I stop it when I first start the Zoom call. I stop it because there's nobody else on, and then sometimes I forget to hit
Turn
it.
it. Yeah.
So in New Orleans, the 3 bar songs we did was Bourbon Street Parade, How You Gonna Keep Them Down on a Farm, and Minnie the Mermaid. But then we started doing a 4th one, and that we never could get well. Y'all remember what one it was?
I don't.
No, I don't.
Billy might remember. Yeah, a song called Flame and Maybe.
Flamin' Mamie, a surefire gal.
Yeah, I don't remember us doing it that often, you
No,
know.
I don't remember that
Yeah,
one.
they whoever gave us all the words, we all learned it, and we used to do it, but it never came out like the other 3. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they
Flamin' Mamie, surefire gal, the hottest baby in town.
Mm.
She's a hard scorcher. She loves torture. The gal that sets them down, something like that.
yeah. Now I vaguely remember it. I might have been on the way out or something then.
Well, the
I'll
problem
let-
with that one is no other people didn't know the tune, but everybody knew How You Gonna Keep Them Down on the Farm.
Yeah, well, I remember when we would our first bar song every night was always Bourbon Street Parade, and it always give us that little riff, da 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 da
Yeah.
da 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 da
Right.
da. And by then the waiters were all stop whatever the hell you're doing and getting on the bar. You know, sorry, be right back.
Hey, there's
Hello,
Gim.
Jim.
Good
Hey,
to see you
Gim.
again, Gim.
Hi, y'all.
Howdy,
How you
Jim.
doing?
I'm back.
You
I'm
are.
just checking up at you at the beginning.
And were the
Got a lot of
graduations
family.
good?
Sorry.
Were the
See,
graduations
New York
fun?
to set up a bar.
Oh,
too.
they're precious. You know, these 18-year-olds, they're just precious. They really
Yeah.
are. They're really great. And the thing that we went to 2 graduations, one weekend and the next one the following weekend. But it is very impressive to me to see how poised some of these 18-year-old kids are. They give speeches at the graduation ceremony, you know, 4 or 5 minute speeches, and they're all quite good, really.
Yeah.
I just think that I could have never done that. I mean, holy
No,
mackerel.
I couldn't either. I look at these kids and they know what they want to do. They have plans, and I worked at your father's mustache.
Of course, I didn't. As I was telling my granddaughter, I said I didn't hit the planet until I was 27.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Hey,
Howdy,
Mike.
y'all.
Hey,
Hi,
Mike
guys.
Johnson.
Michael, how are
Hey,
you?
Mike.
I'm okay. It's a little warm here in Colorado, but not as hot as it is in some places where all you guys are.
Right.
It's 85 degrees out here on my deck, and the little breeze is blowing, and it's just gorgeous, just gorgeous.
It's somewhere around 99 here in Colorado.
Oh Lord, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've
No,
had a
Barry.
number of mid 90 degree temperatures the last week, and I believe it was last Saturday we hit 99. That's,
Oh,
you know,
Well, you're
not
closer
really-
to the sun than we are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
that's it.
No, our feels like temperature today is going to go close to 120.
Yeah,
Really?
we don't have that
Yeah,
humidity. You
it's
guys have got.
90. It's going to be 97 degrees, what it feels like of almost 120. If you're prone to go outside and feels like it,
The humidity must be brutal.
it is. It's very hot. You know, that's what they call down here. They call it air you can wear.
Tell you, I'm watering my garden 3 times a day. It's so hot.
Yeah.
Can't do that in California.
No.
Yeah.
The fact that some people are underwater and others are drowning, and others are in heat waves and haven't had a decent rainfall in 12 years. I mean, it's just extraordinary. It really is.
And it seems like the poorer the country, the hotter it gets. Like India's hitting 120 without feeling like it, just 120,
Man.
and no
That's always-
AC.
That's always been a hot country, but it's much more severe right now than it ever has been. If you look at their map, you know where the temperatures are. It's all over. There's no cool place at all. You
Yeah.
have to go to the Himalayas to get cold.
Yeah. become a Sherpa or something.
Well.
Yeah.
Those people are remarkable. They can survive at high altitudes, and there's no oxygen. It's just extraordinary.
Well, last week we were talking, I said I had some clips from the stories people were telling at the mustache reunion. And we talked about Peter Babcock, and I had a clip where he was relating his mustache memories, if y'all care to look at that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Peter was wonderful. Great friend.
Okay.
I came upon Joel Schiavone in summer of '68. My son was a baby. I'm Pete Babcock, by the way. No, I'm sorry, I'm not. And I'd lived in San Francisco. My son was born in San Francisco. We decided to, go back to Cape Cod, where my wife was from. And my father-in-law, Bob West, you remember that devil of a guy? He was the president of the local musicians union 155. He said, Pete, hey, you got a new family, you need a job for the summer, you just got back from that weird place on the left coast, and they didn't call it the left coast. And you need a job. And I happen to know this club called Your Father's Mustache, and I know the owner because I deal with musicians, and this guy, Joe Schiavone. So he says, I got your job as a waiter. It's only for the summer, but then you'll be banging nails in the fall. So I got this job being the waiter. My first song that I sang, because I could, was My Mother's Eyes, which I will not do now. So we had a contest. The waiters, we had the brand new album, W.C. Fields is Alive and Drunk, Your Father's Mustache. And it was an LP, of course. And the waiter that sold the most albums, I think it was $150, or maybe it was $15, I can't remember. You won, you got that. So I, thank you very much, sold the most albums. And we had a fairly good summer that summer. We sold some albums, we sold a lot of beer and peanuts and blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the summer, we have the final closing night. Everybody's, we're going to miss you, see you next summer, blah, blah, blah. And so Joel's there at the door, we're just kind of walking out, and Joel comes up and says, hey, good job, Peter. I'd like to have you stay aboard with us, you've done a really neat job. And he says, he looks me in the eye, which he didn't normally do. He looks me in the eye, he says, tell me, Peter, can you play washboard? And I'm this guy from New York City. Hey, Joel, come on. Hey, anybody can play washboard. He says, we need a washboard player in Boston, you're hired. I don't have a washboard, I don't have thimbles, I don't have a mind. And so I drove down from Cape Cod, where I live, drove down to the New York club, sat in the front row, and on an old shellfish permit, wrote out, okay, there's a washboard, and then there's ashtrays, and then there's this tin, and a wood block, and there's spread. And it took it back, put the washboard together, and wound up in Boston, and they had the worst winter at that point, in summer 68, 9, history. I lived in the North End and had to walk to the club on Market Street every night. Anyway, so it's been a wonderful experience, and I know you all feel the same. But one more thing. This is my son. I'm very proud. This is my son and I when I got started. And I put him on my shoulders now. I'm very proud of this. This is an anonymous photo somebody took, and my wife said, wow, was I a hottie? Anyway, one more item. Daddy Mustache is having a birthday on the 20th. Oh. Mike Gentry is having a birthday on the 20th. Peter Babcock is having a birthday on the 19th. So this time, since I'm not going to be here, your birthday or yours, I would like to do my rendition of Mickey Mouse. Happy birthday. Let me warm up. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joe.
Yeah.
It was great. I'm so glad you did those, Billy.
The mustache's version of Rip Torn.
Hey, Pete.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing?
Peter.
Hey, Pete. Hey, Rick Haley.
Everybody.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right.
Well, I can say I had the pleasure of working with Peter after the mustache. Me and Mike and Danny and Peter and Gene, we played the riverboats and stuff like that. And he's let's put it like this: he's a piece of work. He was.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's an understatement of the century.
We
Yeah.
take him to the banjo conventions in Arizona, and you think, I mean, all those banjo players looked at him like he was nuts, and they were right.
Yeah. The guy was a hell of an entertainer. He really was.
Yeah. Well, he passed away not long after the reunion, huh? Or was it
No, it was 2019.
2019? Okay.
Yeah.
So- That's right. It's since we've been doing these Zoom meetings, I think somebody had
Yes.
passed. away.
Yes. Yes.
That was around Christmas, sometime in December of 2019. I got a call from his son in the Boston area saying he had passed away.
Mhm.
But he also did a long stint with Disney. First time I met him, he was doing Class of 27.
Really?
All those guys at Disney World, to Disneyland. But he was good. He was good. He was a little bit Rip Torn, Jerry Lewis, you know.
Yeah, he had a lot of talent. He had a great voice.
He did.
We did
He
a
did
lot
have
of
a good
washboard
voice. He
concerts
did.
together for 25, almost 30 years. And, you know, from California to Connecticut to Ohio and a couple in Arizona. And I always organized them and he emceed them and he did a great job of emceeing them.
Mhm.
But sometimes you couldn't get him to stop, you know?
That's
Right,
right.
Gary?
He was
Sometimes-
always on.
Always on, always.
We'd have gigs to play on the riverboats, and he'd stay at my house here, and right in this garage where I'm sitting right now. We'd sit up here, and he'd be sitting right over there, and just me and him in the garage, and he was still on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was still. I was the only audience, you know. I get tired. He'd keep going.
Yeah.
You know, it was like he was at Carnegie Hall again in my garage right here with just me and him.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
In his last days, his job was a tour guide for the vineyards up where he lived.
Valley, right. Napa Valley, right.
And I never,
Sonoma.
I never went on one of those tours, but I bet they were a hoot.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to one. We had one planned and it just didn't work. Didn't happen.
I
I
bet
never
he-
went on one of the formal tours either, but
I bet he was a hoot as the tour guide. Let me tell you.
yeah,
I'll bet you.
he gave me a lot of individual tours with a couple of three friends of various wineries around the area. And it was, he lived in Sonoma for many years and Sonoma was just it's such a beautiful little town. I miss that place so much.
Well, Mike, you mentioned washboard concerts.
Yeah.
What goes into it's got to have something besides just washboards, huh?
Well, yeah, it's how many ever washboards you can get on a stage. Kim knows what I'm talking about.
Very well.
And usually we'd have one or two banjos and a tuba and a piano. Sometimes we'd have three banjos, tuba, piano, clarinet, trumpet. It just kind of varied. Whoever we could talk into or beg to come and do it with us. But we did 28 of them in Sacramento, 10 in Connecticut, about 10 in Ohio. And as of this year, we've done 19 or 20 in Monterey, California. I haven't done the last two because I can't travel anymore. But they've been a blast. And we've had as many as 40 people on stage with a whole lot of washboards, a couple of banjos. I'll get you guys links to some videos. If you've never seen any of them, Gim's seen them. Did you play
Yes.
some of those with us, Gim?
I remember being outnumbered 30-1 on a bandstand, yes.
We'd have, one time we had 2 washtub basses.
Me and I, two of whom I think was probably Greg McCurdy, or either that one, either him or Albie Bernard, one or the other.
Albie Bernard did a lot of them with us in Connecticut, and Tex
Yeah,
Wyndham did a bunch, and Eddie Metz Senior did some.
What about Reynolds, Ralph Reynolds?
Oh, he did a lot of them with us in California, and he was at the International Washboard Festival in Ohio one year with his band. He brought in Bill Allred and Dan Levinson and several other people like that with him. They
Well,
were really,
being a mustache player, I played with my share of washboard players, as I'm sure Gim and Chris
Yeah.
has. And I will tell you that we got sitting here on this screen, in my book, the most musical is Ralph Reynolds and Mike Johnson.
thanks, Barry.
Most musical.
All right, Mike.
Thanks.
Now, as
Ralph's the
far as
best.
putting on a show, you had Tara and the guy we just saw just now, Babcock,
sure.
you know. But
Babcock put on a hell of a show. Jerry Sacco did pretty good. Jerry, if I don't know how many of you guys knew Jerry, but this pudgy little Italian, goofy looking little shit up there, and he'd get up there and sing Mother and do all these things, the arm signals to Mother and everything. And the audiences just loved him. And the girls went nuts for him, and I don't know why.
a lot of you guys not from New Orleans, we had a washboard player. He went by the name of Wilbur Kite. He was very good as an entertainer, not a good washboard player, but a real good entertainer.
Yeah, Jim Beator, yeah.
He played with spoons, I think. And I think
Yeah.
he would wear that washboard out, you know.
He did.
Yeah, he didn't have any fancy stuff on it, all the horns and bells and stuff like that. I think he just would play and sing, but he was a great singer and a great entertainer.
Oh,
I could put a hole in the old washboard, galvanized washboards about every third night,
Mm.
playing them, because that galvanized tin just wouldn't stand up to anything. And I was lucky enough to meet somebody, Bill Gunter, from washboard player from Sacramento, had a son-in-law that worked in a machine shop and had some stainless steel ones. I've been beating the shit out of that thing for 25 years, and it's still as strong as it was when it was new.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
There was a time when I was the leader of a band in New York where we couldn't find side players. There was no side banjo players to play. So what happened was Ben Smith, who was but we had an overabundance of trombone players. We had Maynard playing the first chair, and then we had Ben Smith and Jerry Orcas. So Ben Smith and Jerry Orcas said, well, look, we'll play the washboard. And they became washboard players like 3
Yes,
nights
sir.
a week.
Oh.
You know, and they did a good job. Trombone players playing the washboard. They knew the routines,
Sure.
they knew the songs, and they did a good job.
Here's Jerry Sacco.
Yeah, that's me right behind him on his right, and a guy named Jimmy Coates behind him on his left. That was Sacramento.
I think
I
I
don't know what year
remember.
it was, but it was Sacramento.
I don't remember him.
Didn't Jerry come down from Mardi Gras? I think I met him there.
I don't know if he ever did. I know I was there.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
He used to manage the Denver club, didn't he, Mike?
Yeah, he did. He's the one that hired me and a whole lot of other people. He hired Ron Fuller and a bunch of other people, but he hired me there in 1970. And he was a pretty cool guy, really one of my best friends ever.
And who could forget, for a while there, Roger played washboard when it was me, Peter, who's on this call right now, me, Peter, Maynard, and Roger.
One time I took a band up to Troy, New York, and Herb Roselle was there, John McLaren, and to get a washboard player, we took a waiter from the New York club. His name was Jerry Garcia.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jerry was like the stoner of all time, and he and his wife were as high as a kite for the entire time we were in Troy, New York. They never came down. I don't know where they got all the stuff, but they were terrific.
You must go with the name. I don't know, it must be.
Yeah, I know. There you go. I played with Jerry Garcia. What can I say?
You should have built it outside. Jerry, now appearing, Jerry Garcia.
Garcia.
You would have got all the deadheads in there.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
He ended up at Ruby Reds in Atlanta. When Dave Krupner and I went to Atlanta, he was playing washboard.
Yeah, Ron Bizel took him down.
That's right. Ron Bizel, Jerry Garcia, Peanuts. And I can't remember the trombone player's name, big somebody. And,
Well, Gim, you mentioned you were outnumbered 30-1 by the washboard players. That means you were the only one in charge of melodies?
Virtually, yeah. Me and the tuba players, I remember. If there was a trombone player, he was on the other side of the mob and I couldn't see him.
Hey, Bill and Tom, I'll send you some pictures of some washboard concerts and a couple of, can you play videos on this thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, I'll send you some links to some videos on YouTube of some washboard concerts. So turn you off to music forever.
One time, Mike, y'all asked Mike Gentry to play the banjo at one of those washboard festivals.
Yeah.
I was talking to him right afterward. I said, well, how'd that go to washboard festival? He said, unbelievable.
Roger.
Mike showed up
That banjo.
Mike showed up at the Washboard Festival in Logan, Ohio one year. And I don't think any of us knew he was coming, and he had a great time that weekend and sitting in, a lot of jam session things and playing on the washboard concerts. And I'll send Bill and Tom, I'll send you guys a bunch of pictures.
That's good.
Oh yeah, we can't wait to hear that.
Yeah.
It's the first year we did one in Sacramento was 1983. And a writer in the Sacramento Bee, we only had 9 washboards, but a writer in Sacramento Bee
Only
said,
9.
sounded like 10,000 marbles rattling around in a glass jar in rhythm.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Roger just sent this.
Cool.
Wow.
This is a picture of, I mentioned before, we did an international beer guzzling contest at Your Father's Mustache in New Orleans. We invited all kinds of people in. We had a special sign up and we had a special rules they could follow. And these were the judges. That's Warren Spotswood. That's myself. That's Arcus Kelly. And this was our outfits to judge the contest. It was very serious. I had a starting gun. I had to shoot everybody off, and I had a time watch to click it to see who was the fastest. And we kept going around and around until we got down to the winner. I can't remember the winner's name, but he was pretty good mood time he won. And we were supposed to send him somewhere, I think to New York, to do something. But anyway, it was an event, and I had all kinds of flyers and promotion things, and the place was packed watching people at a beer guzzling contest. And that was a big sign hanging down as you walked right in the door, explaining everything.
Yeah.
There's a little guy in the middle.
Yeah, you look like you're in kindergarten there.
Those guys are tall, both of them. Arcus
I dare say they're tall. Holy smokes.
and Warren was a trombone player also. Warren Spotswood. He did about anything you needed. He was a good trombone player. He's in several pictures of when we were on the fire truck and stuff, playing the horn. And also he's a stand-up comedian. He went out to Hollywood and made a good name for himself out there.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Roger, this is off the subject a little bit. I found another one of these on eBay.
I saw those today too.
This is the original one that has all the clubs on the back.
Yeah, I think I have that one.
Yeah. Now you displayed one, and I saw one on eBay, so I scooped it up for $5.99.
Yeah, I see him on price.
With or without beer in it.
There were some people show all the whole thing, the bottom, because I like to look at the bottom too, where the
Yeah,
remaining.
and this one's in good shape. I mean, it was mint.
Really
So, you can see the bottom.
But-
They sell you refills, Bill, for 75 cents.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I saw a matchbook cover
Yeah.
online for sale on eBay today. eBay happened to pop up and I just thought I'd look while I was on it. Some people were selling the thing like for $20, trying to sell.
Yeah,
one.
a matchbook cover. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who in the hell's
Did it have,
gonna buy that for $20?
Did it have Rick's phone number in it again?
Yeah, the trombone player up there. That's
Yeah.
Bill Spotswood playing the trombone.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was
That was a good looking truck. That good looking
Yeah,
That
fire.
was it.
the funnest.
That's
vehicle I ever
over
had.
on the washboard up there.
Yeah, Victor. He's, he works up at Loyola University now.
Jim Viator, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And there's George Berg in the middle playing lead banjo. And there's Neil. I know who's that kid on the end?
Bruce O'Neill.
Bruce O'Neill, that's right. And Don Summers playing the big bass tuba in the back. And Ed Krebs and Gary Nickerson's on the far end by himself.
Don Summers became the captain of the riverboats.
Exactly, that's true. He was out, he actually came, he came down from St. Louis. I think that's where he's, I don't know if he was born or raised there, but he came down from St. Louis to work at the Mustache in New Orleans. And he was a good horn man. Yeah, he was a river captain. And that was a cool move. He looked the whole part, you know. Fun days.
That was a great truck.
I show people
It was a lot.
Omen from his. I said, "Hey, you guys want to see my company car?"
Yeah.
I showed my picture of that. It's like, what is that?
And this was chain driven, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The old 1928 American LaFrance fire truck. And as I mentioned before, Neil Underseer did all the painting on the side of it. He did the exact duplicate of our guy in New York who did all of our signs. And
So Roger, what happened with it? Like our last year's, that it was out of commission. Did the transmission go out? What happened to it?
yeah, it just finally couldn't find anyone really to work on it.
Right.
So I don't know where I was at that point in time. I think I was up in Vancouver working, and I was talking with Fred about it. He said, "Yeah, it's falling apart, you know."
How do you sell a broken down 1929 fire engine?
I have no idea.
Really? Who's going to buy one?
Well, you know, some old antique dealer or somebody might want parts for something. I don't know. I really don't know.
Just likes restoring things, yeah.
Yeah, and because the guy we bought it from up in Laplace, Louisiana, he had a warehouse full of antique stuff, antique cars and trucks.
Yeah.
Roger, who's that? Who's the waiter on the right side of the picture?
Gary Nelson.
Gary Nelson? Okay.
Yeah, he. I don't know if I don't think he worked in any of the clubs. He might have worked in Denver, but he mostly worked in New Orleans.
He looks like a guy from the New York club's name, whose name was Mike Malarney.
Oh,
He
Mike.
did like Mike a little bit. Yeah.
But
True. That's true. Did you?
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Put a hat and a vest on him, a couple garters, give him a mustache.
Right? They all look the same, right?
Oh, that guy.
That's sort of the whole idea.
That's right.
Roger, your memory is remarkable. You can remember all those names. That's terrific. You know.
Yeah, it is.
I can't remember what I did last week, but
Oh no, I can't remember what I had for lunch. For God's sake.
you know,
Yeah.
that,
When we get together up here in a group, I mean, let's say us old guys, when we get together, name tags are absolutely mandatory because no one can remember anything. It's-
yeah.
Looks like Marty's getting in. Hi there.
Hey, Marty.
Hey, Marty.
We can't see your picture.
Neither can I.
got
Turn on the
a mirror?
camera.
You're off.
Hey, Tom, did you get that other picture I sent in?
Today?
Yeah. I just
Let
sent
me
it in.
look.
It's a group of people.
Give me a second. I'll find it.
Here's Ira.
Because Ira. Yeah.
He's early today.
Yeah.
Must be raining in Florida.
We had Ira.
Hey guys, how is
Yeah.
everybody tonight?
There's Ira.
Good to see you.
Yeah. So what's new? What I miss? Oh, Marty's on. Hey, Marty.
Marty's, where is Marty?
I'm hiding.
Come on out to the front. I got a picture you have to see if Tom can find it.
Yeah, I found it. Give me a second. I got to find the Zoom now.
You can help me identify all these people.
It's, oh, there you are. Okay, hold on.
This is a picture of our 25th reunion. Outside.
Okay. I see Bill Higbee.
There's Marty's on the far right over there.
Marty's on the bottom right.
That's me
And,
next to him.
Is that Joan Dragon on the bottom?
No, that's
No,
that's Kathy Goodleaf.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Kathy, yeah.
And another guy, I can't remember his name. He was an actor and he worked at the club in New York. Marty?
What, the guy next to Marty?
Yeah. No, next to Kathy Goodleaf.
Yeah.
In the blue shirt.
Oh,
A lot of these guys
blow it
are.
up and read the name tag. I
That
don't know.
was, that was
That's
the
my-
best reunion. Roger, don't you think? Ira, that was the best reunion.
Yes,
I think so. I thought
Yeah,
that
that was a
reunion
good
was
one.
great.
absolutely.
that's my cousin John Lamoth in the blue trousers in the back on the back row.
Oh, okay,
Light blue trousers.
right, okay. These were.
That's John Lamont, yeah.
Yeah,
Who's
he's
on
a
the far-
psychiatrist now up in near Connecticut.
Cool,
Who's the
Upstate New
guy
York.
on the top right in the red shirt?
yes.
Don't
I can't-
recognize.
I can't tell.
Who's the heavy guy next to John Lamont?
To John's right?
Yeah. He looks familiar.
Is Marty still with us?
Yes, I am.
Marty, can you help identify these people?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're sorry. I don't want to hear your sorry shit.
All I recognize, well, Kathy Goodleaf, Bill Higbee. You said John. I don't know any of the other guys.
No.
Marty on the bottom right.
I don't think so.
Is that Pat Mars in the red shirt, Marty?
No, I don't think so. Pat used to work in New Orleans also.
Who, Pat?
Uh-huh, I believe so.
Anybody know the guy on the far left on the top?
No.
No.
Like Rick McInerney.
No idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Rick McInerney from Cape Cod Club.
Okay.
Well, how long was Cape Cod running?
How long was what?
Well, Cape Cod, when did that club close?
It didn't close. The first one burned down.
The first one burned down and they opened another one, yeah. And
I
then
worked in Cape Cod in 72, so we're still going in 72.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was still born.
It was in Dennisport, right?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
I have a picture of that too. I thought I tuned in.
Bought it in 72 or 73. And they were still running it a couple of years later. I don't know how long they lasted. But it wasn't mustard at that time. It was just the improper, and they were just doing other kinds of acts.
Well, the best one was at the Harwich Port in Cape Cod. That was a great club.
It was super. You know, I'm trying to remember, when did it burn? I know I managed it the first year, and you were at, Roger, you managed it the second year, and I don't know what happened after that.
I don't know. Why? Because I'm trying to think when I went to New York to stay. It was in '60s or something. And it was gone then. So it had to be somewhere around the 66 or 67 it burnt down. There you
Oh,
go.
that's what I would guess, but I just don't know.
Yeah.
Then it reopened in what, the early 70s?
The Cape Cod Club opened at the summer of '63. I remember.
Right, but I remember driving Russ Adams, the cook, up to Cape Cod one summer. He had to go there. He went there for the summers.
Yeah,
That's right.
he was
That's right.
cooking when I spent my summer up there. Cooking and looking for his bottle of Wilson's.
He didn't have to look for his Wilsons. He always had it.
He lost it one time. He left it
Did he
the oven.
really?
Yeah, he was cooking dinner.
A quart a day.
Cooking dinner. He had this horrible smell. They couldn't.
Yeah.
God damn, I left my Wilson's in the oven. It's in the oven.
Russ Adams.
Character all his own.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, that was Russ.
You shitting me? You shitting me, buddy boy? Right.
Oh, shit.
I may have told you this before, but back when Eileen and I got married in '67, we had Russ cater our reception. It was fun. We had it I had a friend with a big apartment, so we had our reception there. It was fun. We were making mustache money, so I mean, we were poor as church mice. We had to go cheap.
This is the new manager's suit.
Yeah, sure, why not?
A new suit.
Nice tie.
New suit, a new tie, and a nice hat. Look at that woman behind me looking. What the hell is that guy doing?
I thought she was saying what a nice ass.
Yeah, she might have. That was in Lake Charles, Louisiana, at a country club. We went over there. Anytime there were jobs around the South, John Morava would call me and say, Roger, why don't you take care of this down there? I said, okay, I'll put a group together. So I took a group of waiters and a band, and we went over there and
It looks like they all came from church.
You're right. And it was quite an event. We had a good time. Stayed at some hotel and was up all the night causing havoc, and probably glad to see us get out of town.
Well, we really missed the boat with outside jobs back then.
Yeah.
Because now they're all over. That's all I do is outside jobs.
Yeah.
We missed the boat. New York, you had Murata doing it up there, and Atlanta, Ruby Reds, what they did, extensive outside stuff. You know, they had their club going every night, but they had extensive they really did a push. We never did that. That's too bad, because we could have. We had the stable to do it. We just didn't do it.
Yeah, especially with all the clubs.
Yeah.
You didn't have to really transport people around if you could use the people in those local areas.
I remember one time Murata sent a band from New York to Jackson, Mississippi. We could have covered that out of New Orleans, 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I did a job in Jackson, Mississippi. He called me to do the Mississippi State Fair. And that was quite an event in Jackson, Mississippi back in the late 60s. We were over there, and I guess we spent the night or something. We had a big tent, sawdust on the floor. We set up a stage for the band to play on. I took a few waiters with us, and he supplied the rest of the help. His name was Mr. Love. On the bottom of everything, he had his name. It's on it, Love, Love, Love. And he was the most prejudiced person I'd ever met in my life. He talked to the black people like he didn't want to hear the words.
What's the trombone player's name from New York? I mean, from I guess Boston. He broke his leg at one of the concerts. Y'all remember that guy? Kazonen. Y'all remember Lenny Kazonen?
Lenny Casone, yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
name sounds familiar.
Lenny Kazonen.
Yep.
Murata would send him down from Boston to play in Jackson. I couldn't understand that. When we had 4 trombone players, here in New Orleans.
Why is
So
that?
why did he do that? Why did he do that?
I don't know. Because I remember Lenny and all them, after the job in Jackson, they drove down and
Oh,
got
geez.
to the Mustache for the last set and played that in with us.
Yeah, I see Danny sat in with you at Fritzl's, huh?
Well, he wasn't sitting in, he actually worked the gig.
That's nice.
The bass
When was the
player
last time you
couldn't
guys
make it.
played together?
Danny called me up, he said, I'm working with you tonight. I said, great. So we had a swell time Wednesday night working together.
When was the last time you and Danny played together?
Well, it's been a while. It's been a
Yeah.
while, but 2 guys have been best of friends for over 50 years playing. That's pretty neat,
That
Yeah.
is neat.
Yeah.
Guys, I need to go.
All
Okay,
right.
Take care,
Pete.
Peter.
Hey,
Peter.
See ya.
Next time, don't talk so much, Pete.
Really? Bye.
Bye.
You going to cook for Chris?
You're right.
Oh, geez.
So we lost Dave somewhere, but
Hey, Bill,
He's right there.
I just sent you a email with a video link on it, YouTube link on it.
Okay.
So Marty, you got any updates on our reunion?
Yeah, not a good one, but I got an update.
Go.
Right now, it's wide open. I've got Joel to agree that we're not locked into weekends. We can do weekdays if we want. We're not locked into nights. We can do days if we want. And that if necessary, we just have a place to play for ourselves. The place that we found for last year that had the pizza and beers, the microbrewery, was a good one for that. We get pizza and beers and we play. And
I think that's all we need, to tell you the truth.
yeah, well, that's what I figured.
Sounds
So
good
I
to me.
agree to that, and then he wants to expand it some more. He'd like to go down to Lighthouse Point where we had the 25th. The only thing I'm
Down New Haven?
outside gig, and we're all elderly.
Yes.
But he says we could get a tent and yada yada yada. I'm not sure what that'll gonna run, so I'm waiting to hear.
Well, you need a bus too. You need a bus to get to and from it. Lighthouse is quite, not down the street from Central New Haven.
Yeah. The other thing is, when he got that excited, then he wanted to make it 3 days. Wanted to start at the Lighthouse, do the other one, the bar, and then still have a concert. That one was a problem for a while. I finally got him to agree that we don't have to have a sponsor, because the only thing these sponsors are doing is taking the money from the gate. So how do we pay for the gate if we're giving them the money? How do we pay for the room? How do we pay for the lights? This, that, the other thing. So I've got 2 more. I promised him I'd get back to him on. In fact, he tried to reach me today. I was busy. Like 2 of my oldest grandchildren were babysitting me. And so I have to call him back yet, but I'm waiting to hear back from this one. That's a nice small place, but it sits about 350 in the center of the music district there. And they've been delaying. I talked to them a few weeks ago and everything was fine talking with them. But they're busy as all get out because the schools are just ending up here. So they've got all their final shows and graduations, whatever the devil else they've got going on. So she said that when that got through, she'd get together with the tech guy and invite me down and we'd go over all the expenses, and whether it's worth it or not, I'll see at that point. I have a feeling from the way she was talking, she didn't give me numbers, but it's possible that it's just something we can't afford.
What time of year are you thinking of doing this?
I'm thinking of doing it while we're still alive.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I'm thinking, the last weekend in August is just before Labor Day, and that's no good either. But I'm figuring September, maybe early October. But that's it. And once I get word from these people that that's not a go, then I just want to get back to Joel, get together with Kim, pick a date and go. And if
Okay.
it's just us playing for ourselves, that is fine with me.
Yeah,
Me too.
I think that's all we need.
yeah, it's about
I
us.
don't think we need a concert and sell tickets. No,
But the last
Yes.
time I talked to Joel about it, he said that he realized that's what was the best thing to do.
yeah.
Yeah, but subsequent to your conversation with him, Tom, he got back on his engaging a charitable group and getting them to help us run a concert. And, you know, I shit as nice. I shit on it nicely as I could. It didn't seem to make a whole lot of difference.
Yeah, I think that'd definitely be a great idea.
But then you know we got them.
Yeah, I think if we can get hold of as many people that worked at the Mustache, we still have a list, and let them know about this once we get a date, and just bring the group together. And we got-
Once there's a date and we're committed to it, then it's all guns firing. You know, it's all ahead, full speed.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm hoping to be done with that in the next week to 2 weeks, as far as I'm concerned.
Good.
It's dragging on and people are falling by the wayside. We can't do this.
I hear you. I hear you.
If it wasn't for Gim, we'd be done with this already.
Your fault, Kim.
Yes. No. Marty has the advantage of being on site down in New Haven. I live 45, 50 minutes away, and it's we haven't had any together meetings, and Joel's been hard to find, hard to get in touch with, but Marty seems to ferret him out and negotiate with him. So he's carrying the flag. When we get down to putting a program together, we'll hold his feet to the fire and we'll do the right thing.
And let me say this, the little mini reunions that I've had with Mike Gentry and Gene LeBeau and Danny and all that, we do our performance at the banjo rally or whatever it may be. But the most fun is meeting at Mike's house or somewhere and just playing tunes.
Yep.
Having fun and telling old war stories and playing
Oh,
a
yeah.
tune here and there. That's the most fun.
Yes.
That's what the 87 reunion was, pretty much.
Exactly.
But it does require a little bit of programming, a little bit of organization, so you don't step on one another. But particularly if we get a lot of people show up, if it's just you and me and Danny and a few others and Mike, and then that's fine. We can do anything. But if we get 25 guys who want to play, then we got to get organized.
As long as we got plenty of washboard players, we're okay.
We've already covered that in the early part of this meeting that you missed. So that's
Mike Johnson's gonna send us a recording of the washboard concert. I'm gonna use that for my morning meditation.
I sent one to Bill a few minutes ago from Monterey.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
send you some stuff, Gary,
I'll
later.
have to take a look at it and
Yeah.
convert it to something we could use online.
That's cool.
here.
I'll send you some other stuff, Bill and Tom and Barry,
Okay.
but you can pick and choose.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting on the edge of my seat waiting.
I'd rather see you standing on your head playing
Yeah.
a banjo.
There's a listing for I think they call it the Evergreen Jazz Festival in Colorado,
Yeah,
that this Mustache is playing. Is that any of our guys?
yeah, me
You?
and Joe Petricelli. When the
It's a
club
jazz
goes here, we talked to Schiavone about to see if he'd mind if we used the name, and he said, "Oh, hell, I don't care. You're never going to make anything of the name anyway, so go ahead and do whatever you want." And we've done a lot of jazz festivals around the country and things over the years, and so yeah, that's me. But it's not a Mustache band like the old days, the sing along 4 or 5 piece band. It's a full Dixieland band.
Yeah, so full Dixieland Jazz Band, that's the format.
Yeah, yeah. With me, it's on washboard, it's 8 pieces and a chick singer. So, yeah. And that's a good festival. If anybody's not doing anything wants to be there, LeBeau's going to be there.
Mike, how come Joe Petrucelli doesn't join us on Zoom? Why don't you call him up?
He's relatively computer illiterate. He's a banjo player. What do you want?
So am I, so are most of us. Fuck.
Like John McLernan.
I mean, look at Roger. Roger, we need to teach him how to click.
Yeah.
Hurry, you got
You
Joe's
can
phone
run a
number.
microwave. You can do this.
How come Joel doesn't join us once in a while?
Yes.
Yeah, but not lately.
Gary, call Petrucelli and give him some crap about not showing up here. You've got his phone number. If you don't, let me know and I'll give it to you.
I got it.
Okay.
Hey, before I take off, I just want to shout out a big thanks to Tom and Bill for that terrific video that they put together
That was terrific.
for Lynn. She was so appreciative. She wrote me a note of thanks, as if I had anything to do with it. But she
wrote me too.
It's just exactly what she wanted, and you guys did a great job at it. So
And
thank
Chris,
you.
if I ever need, you did a great little speech in there. So anybody dies, I'm going to call you.
And if you haven't seen it, go to Chris's website. You can see it there, I believe.
Oh yeah, I
Maybe
posted
Chris
it.
can,
Yeah.
Chris can
Yeah,
start
it had
selling those
57 views so far.
Chris can start selling pre-need eulogies.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into business.
You should.
Should.
I can just
You're used by
eulogies
Chris.
while you wait. Oh God.
Chris, when I was watching you do that, I said he ought to be a star on the History Channel.
On the cooking channel.
I got my hands full with the cooking already, so that'll be enough for me. All right, guys, I gotta go. I'm making, in case anybody wants to know the menu, it's shrimp and polenta tonight. So
Oh,
there you go.
Sounds good.
Have a good one, Chris.
Come
We'll
on
be there.
over.
Yeah, Chris.
Take care, Chris. See you next week.
All right, take care, guys.
yeah.
He will
Thanks.
take us.
Don't burn the shrimp. Oh.
As soon as we get something squared away here, and I'm really just expecting to be checking off the 2 boxes for the last 2 auditoriums, then we'll get back together with you.
Okay.
We appreciate all your work, Marty.
Yeah. Thanks, Marty.
Take care, Marty.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Is there any, I know it costs a lot to fly in. Is there any number of days you want to be here? We can stay in 2 or 3, but I don't know what it's like for you guys.
Well, once you
vote-
fly in, it
I
doesn't
vote
matter if
for
you're there
2.
a day 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a hotel, that's all.
All right.
Well,
And I'm
yeah,
sure
Yeah,
Joel will
that's
pick up that tab. Joel's gonna pick up the tab for the hotel.
Bill, if you
What,
want
Barry?
to do
I'll
some
come a day
touring,
ahead anyway.
oh, sure, if you want to do some touring, the early October is a great time to see the leaves up in Vermont and New Hampshire.
Yes. I like it
And,
all there.
And I expect by now that by about then, the Red Sox will be in the World Series, so go to visit the
Yeah.
Boston.
Mhm.
That's a good idea. I can look at the leaves while I listen to Washboard concert. That'd be
Yeah.
Nice relaxing day.
great. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I got to get going.
All right, Marty.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Marty.
Here you go. I'm gonna sign off too. Have a good weekend.
We'll
All
see
right.
you on next week.
See you next
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Harry,
Stay good.
All right.
hey,
Bye-bye.
Roger,
See you again.
Well,
Have Fred too, guys.
Okay. Thanks,
Tom,
Rick.
thank you.
No problem.
Good
See you
night.
guys
Okay.
next week. I'll
Good
send
night,
you a thing on
guys.
Wednesday.
Take
All
care.
right. Thanks, Billy. Thanks, Roger.
Thank you, Tom.
Talk to
Appreciate
you
it.
later.